I'm Tyrone and welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys have been doing well. I know it's been a few weeks since I've checked in, and so I actually wanted to kind of just take some time today and make this video more or less an update and I guess a bit of a story time kind of update you guys. Uh, Although I've been inactive online, things have been very active here on and around the farm, just with the family, the animals, and everything. And so with that, I'm gonna kind of bring you guys along, give you some few updates, share some news with you. All right, so first things first, let's talk about the good. So if you guys as you guys know, last several videos I've done have loosely or all been totally about the garden. So garden is doing well. I think I've shared with you guys before that I've already picked a batch of our mustard greens, and actually it looks like I've missed a batch almost. This new batch that I have here, I'm looking at them now, and they might have gotten away from me. But this is the garden and how it's doing. Got a little bit of cleanup to do, but overall it's pretty good. Looks a little messy because you see all the vines from the different melons, whether that be the watermelons or the cantaloupes. Speaking of which, we got a nice watermelon right there. Like the vines come out of the garden, obviously. But yeah, garden is doing well. Those are the mustard greens I was talking about. You can see they're kind of kneeling. We had like a few storms. Actually, I got a few branches down too, but a few storms come through, high winds, and it kind of blew them down a bit. I probably need to get in there, give them some TLC, get some of those greens that need to come off, get them off, and give them a fair shot to continue doing well. But you also see, or once I get you zoomed in, you will. We got some peppers. Y'all see them right there? It's a few of them. I don't know if it comes through clear on camera. But we got some peppers. You got some everything. The garden is doing well, in short, is what I'm trying to get at. Got some asparagus back here. Still a little bit of time on those, I do believe. I don't know if I shared with you guys, but my uncle gave me some sweet potatoes. I see one of the vines here now, right there. And just for you guys that don't know, that one there. And okay, there's the other one. The other one's right here. Right there. And so they seem to be doing all right. They've been in there a few weeks now. And then I've also picked a strawberry, just a single one, that I saw that was right before. And Angela said it was good. I actually gave it to her to let her try. And she said it was really good. So those are doing well too. I'm trying to see. There's a watermelon. There's another strawberry to the left right there. There's a watermelon I'm trying to show you guys, but I think it's blending in too well. Let me see if I can go for another angle. You guys see that? Zoom out. And right there. Here it is. Got another watermelon there. Got some more strawberries. I got strawberries and tomatoes growing on top of each other, and I really think something's a resprout from last year. Like, it's got to be. And it's likely the strawberry, because it's right on top of the tomato that's right here. But both are doing well. Like I said, there's a strawberry down there right there, and then this tomato plant actually has a few tomatoes on it, if you can see right there. What else I got? I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's two more watermelons right there in front of us. There's one, and there's another one right there. Watermelons are really doing impressively well. I think that's a word. I think I'm using that right. But the tomato plants aren't too shabby either. Y'all see them? And then I don't know. I gotta look at the tag for this tomato, but they're coming in so cool. That kind of dark. It's almost like a purple. If that's coming through, yeah, like a purple as they're growing. Then we got some more over here. doing well. If you guys remember last year, I had a bunch of like I call them cherry tomatoes, but I think they're called strawberry tomatoes. But I had a bunch of those, and that's not. Although I eat those, those are cool. But I had way more than what I was bargaining for, and so you can see this year I was uh, a bit more aware of what I was purchasing, and made sure I got some regular sized tomatoes and a good number of them. I'm actually about to. Y'all can't even see me. My bad. I'm actually stepping into the garden so that I can get a better look and give you guys a better look. I'm just getting caught up on my fencing. But yeah, here's that watermelon a little bit closer. It's a pretty decent size already, but it's got a ways to go. What else I was gonna show you guys? Gotta watch my step in here. Well, yeah, we got peppers. Let's get in here. We got some peppers. You see them? And there's a lot more where that came from. That's 4 good looking peppers on one. I think I need to pick those, to be honest. I think they're about right. And so there's that. Step over here. And I see a cantaloupe that I didn't see a second ago. So we got a nice cantaloupe is hiding back in here. Doing well. This is another pepper plant here. Like one of our peppers fell. So yeah, we had one fall, like a bell pepper. But we got another one here growing. Now we got another few growing. Look at that bad boy. I'm gonna have to look it up to see exactly when to pick them. I'm not totally keen in on that yet. I am still new in the game by all means. And these are the sweet potatoes I planted right here. These big old kind of lime colored leaves. They're really kind of pretty actually. And then this is another pepper plant. And I actually thought it had some peppers. I see some buds. It's starting. But yeah, things are looking good with it too. But yeah, plants got pushed over. But yeah, guys, that's essentially the garden in a nutshell. Got some things growing. Not a huge garden at all. But I'll be honest with you guys. I'm trying to refine it on a small scale so that I can feel comfortable and confident doing it on a larger scale. I don't want to waste my time and my money. And so I just want to kind of, ease myself into it. I think we got a bigger garden this year, and a bit more of a variety this year than we had last year. I haven't gotten much out of those peanut plants I planted. It's probably been a few months ago at this point, if you guys recall, but sorry, it is hot. But I ended up replanting some. I had some different ones. I realized that the seeds I used a few years old, so I had some other ones that I had from maybe just a year ago. So I sowed those, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks ago. We'll see if anything comes of it. I don't see a whole lot of action in there other than some grass, so we shall see. But let me get out of this garden, and then I'll update you guys on a few other things. This video is going to have a bit of a story time to it as well. So let me tell you guys about some events that took place, probably about 3 weeks ago now. It was just after the holiday, just after the 4th of July. So I forget what day of the week it was. It might have been a Tuesday. It's about 5:30 a.m. and Angela gets up around this time because she works out, does Pilates. So she must have been getting up, getting ready to leave. Go leave the house, rush back in, wakes me up and was like, "Hey, Tyrone, Biscuits is out." I'm like, "Oh my God, what?" So I get up, I go, I get up, come outside, get to looking around, see what I can see. And lo and behold, not only do I see that Biscuits is out, but Jay is out too. At this point, I'm terrified. And so I'm like, man, what the heck am I about to do? And so like I said, it's like 5:30 in the morning. Not even really anyone for me to call, and so I'm just trying to think quickly. One, how did they get out? That way I can try to do something to remedy that, and then also keeping my eye on them, make sure I don't lose track of them, and making sure they stay on the property. So find out where they got out. Essentially, we had a heavy rain that night before overnight, and you guys know a few weeks ago I put up some temporary fence on the other side of the house near our septic system, and so that heavy rainfall caused the ground to get soft enough for our temporary net fencing to kill over. And so when they did, it just left an open door for them to get out, and they did. I was fortunate that for whatever reason Beyonce didn't start to get out, but didn't get out at that time. But stick around for that part of the story too. So I noticed that they're out. I'm like, okay, what the heck am I gonna do? Find a problem, identify the problem, whatever, get that patched up, and then I'm like, well, I might as well get a bucket of feed. So I think first I went for Brownie, just because, not Brownie, that's our other calf, but Biscuits. And so in doing so, like I said, I grabbed some feed. She really wouldn't mess with me, like wouldn't go on for the feed. And I get it, because a lot of times she doesn't get a lot of feed because mom and dad will take it from her, or they'll be just kind of hawking her, so I won't even put any out because they'll take it from her. So it might not be a big selling point for her, which it wasn't. So I'm like, dang, now what do I do? So in my great infinite wisdom, I decide that my best shot is probably to get Beyonce to get them both to come back in, because that's what I've had to do with both of them before, or not with Biscuits, but with Jay before. Not that he's ever gotten out, but when I wanted to move him, I've had to leave him with Beyonce or whatever. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll go get a lead rope, put it on Beyonce. Still got my bucket of feed, and I'm essentially in the front yard, like around in here, trying to coerce them to come with me. Lo and behold, somehow, I forget exactly what happened, but Beyonce gets her head out of the slip knot that I've got on her neck and on her mouth. She works her way out of it for whatever, somehow. So now all three cows are out and loose. All right, so, and in that moment, I didn't have a lot of grass in that area, which is another reason they were kind of enticed to get out. And so in that moment, the front yard, it's plentiful of grass, so she's kind of ignoring me, not really wanting to be bothered, and then so much so that when I approach her, she's walking off because she knows that I'm trying to get her to go back in here. So what the hey, right? So I go get some more feed, come back from the other direction, get a rope back on Beyonce, and I successfully get her and Biscuits back inside the pen. Okay, cool. Went from a total meltdown to now I just got one out, but it's the biggest one and the most dangerous one. So several hours go on where B and J he's just running from me essentially. I go one way in the front yard, he's going the other way in the front yard. And if I got some clips of it just from our cameras here on the property, maybe I'll splice them in or whatever. But I'm chasing him around the block, we up and down the street, and he'll leave the property from one driveway and come in from the opposite driveway or whatever. And so this goes on for several hours, to the point that at one point he goes somewhere and I don't see him. Well, my neighbor and their daughter like reach out to me via Facebook, like, hey, your bull's out, he's over here, like just behind me or whatever. I'm just like, okay, cool. And so I shoot over there, dart over there, and so I get him to come back home onto our property, but I cannot get him into a gate. And my biggest issue is keeping the animals that are inside, then also having the gate open long enough to drive him inside the gate. And so especially with it just being me, it was getting really hard to do that. And so we kind of just played this game where I would run him onto the property, try to get him close to enough to a gate. He wouldn't go for it. He'll run off the property, and we'll just kind of go back and forth. So at some point, I'm like, man, I gotta go to work. Like, I have to go to work. I had to be somewhere. So take off, go to work, come back home. By this time, a few hours have passed, and so and also within that time, several people throughout the neighborhood have stopped by the house, rang the doorbell, knocked on the door, and told Angela that they had seen the bull or seen Jay. And so, Angela's calling like, hey, you think you're gonna be home soon? People keep stopping by. I'm like, yeah, I'm coming. I'm gonna get it taken care of. So I get home. I cannot find him. I walk up and down the street. I'm looking. And so finally, Angela puts out something like on like the neighbor app or whatever, looking to see if anybody's seen them. We call animal control. They haven't heard anything. And so like, dang, man, not only did I lose an animal that, I've had several years, almost like a member of the family, but then there's the monetary aspect too. I just lost some money. And so I'm like, just dang. And so time goes by, but also during this time, I'm like, I need to put some hay out. Let me go ahead and do that. That way I ain't worried about having to do it once I get him. Should I get him? Because again, at this point, I don't know where he's been. I've been up and down the street, can't find him. So I get the tractor going, and I go to, what was I doing? I think I was taking my brush hog off or something. But anyway, those of you that have been rocking with me at least a year to 2 years know that I was in the process of kind of replacing the tractor tires, and one of the reasons for that has been because the drag bars on the back that connect to the hydraulics, that connect to the brush hog or whatever attachment, they've been eating into my back tires. And when I turn or whatever, they get against the tread and they get caught up and they just eat away at the tire. So this particular day, of all things, I go to back the tractor up. I ain't moved it 2 feet, and at this point, the drag bar had worn the tire down so much the inner tube was protruding, and it got caught and popped right there on me. So then I had that issue. So now I was faced with not being able to put any hay out. Still got Jay out, and just things are just falling apart. It's just calamity everywhere is what I'm getting at. So if you also been with me a while, I got it was the rear tire, by the way. Obviously, if the drag bars were the issue, but just so you know, so I had a spare rear tractor tire. Like I said, I was in the process of replacing them all, and so then it became a feat to get a new inner tube, get the tractor tire mounted and everything. Trying to do all this myself, mind you, and meanwhile still trying to find Jay. So while I'm working on the tire for the tractor, some guys on horseback come up to the house, and so they're like ringing the doorbell, I guess. And so Angela's inside. She calls me and lets me know, and he was like, hey, I know where your bull is. I'm like, oh dang, oh snaps, heck yeah. So where is he at? And he's like directly up the street at a neighbor's house, like not even, I don't know, that neighbor can probably hear me talking right now. It's that close. Like, he wasn't anywhere. And it's not surprising either, because even when I went to work, like I mentioned to you guys before, he kept coming back home. Like, he'll leave, he'll take off 30, 45 minutes, he'll come back home. Angela called me, like, hey, I just saw Jay again. He's here again. Then he'll leave, he'll come back or whatever. So the guy's on horseback like, yeah, he's right here, man. And actually, not only is he right here, we're going to help you. And I'm like, oh, heck yeah. So I find out where he is. They point me in a direction. I lead him out into the street or whatever, and they block off any other route for him. So he's forced to come back home, which he does. And so then face the same issue about getting him in the gate without letting any of the other animals out. And so after some fighting or whatever, not fighting, let me take that back. Like fighting with Jay, I mean. But after several attempts, hold on, let me back up. I can't even believe I'm skipping one of the most craziest things about the story. So within this, like I said, we're getting him on the property, trying to get him in the fence. He'll dart out. And by dart out, I mean like leave one of the driveways, leave the property, but still stay local, close. Because I kept going back to get him, kept driving him back here. and the guys on horseback they were here maybe an hour, 2 hours at max. And so we would get him here, he would run off, get him here, he would run off before we could get him in the gate. So one of the times that we get him here, he goes to run off, he runs right out into a car and hits the side panel of a car. You know, we don't see it because we're on the property still, and so it actually was like, it was right here actually is where it happened. And so he ran right out here, and like I said, you can't see anything except for what's directly in front of you, and we were back a little ways onto the property. And yeah, he ran right out here and hit a car. You can actually see remnants of it out here, their mirror or whatever, unfortunately. So yeah, he ran off the property into someone's car, and thankfully no one was seriously injured. I think the window got broken. I never got to see the car up close, and I know that's crazy to say, you would think, but Jay hit the car. They kept rolling forward a bit, as mind you, while that's happening, we're running, me and the horsemen are coming out to the street. And so by the time we reached the street to look, they were already, it's a stop sign, they were already at the stop sign. And you know, I kind of yelled, hey, is everybody okay? And they then just drove off. And so I was like, okay, well, my party of course went right back to trying to secure Jay, so something like that couldn't happen again. So we continue to fight with Jay, and finally we set up we get him back to the property, set up a perimeter, get him inside, he's secure, thank God, right? So that crisis was, you know, kind of put to bed at that point. And then maybe an hour or so later, the people that he hit actually came by and kind of told me what happened as far as the damage and whatever. And so I think it was like a young couple, and I mean like real young, like kids young almost, or very young adults. I'm not sure, but and Jay hit the side of the car, broke the glass, messed up the door a little bit, and you know, everybody was all right, maybe some minor stuff, but I believe everybody was fine. And then we ended up exchanging information, ended up getting them taken care of as far as their car, so everything is good there. Jay is fine. You know, you would have thought, you know, it was a part of me at that moment, it was like, okay, maybe this is over now that he's hit this car, because again, we didn't see, we just heard skirt, boom. And so, oh, okay, maybe this is over. Wasn't the outcome I wanted, but no, you know, I went out there. Like I said, the car was up at the stop sign. Jay was nowhere to be seen. He had taken off, I guess, thereafter. No limp, no nothing. He's unfazed. And so, yeah, that didn't put a stop to it. But like I said, we eventually got him back home, got him secured. And yeah, that was going to be a heartbreak if that were to happen. But on that note, I did end up having a heartbreak. Came out here no more than 2 days ago now to feed the animals, and so cows are fine. And I'm looking at the goats. I'm like, well, I see everybody except for one, and that's the gray goat that we recently got, the gray female. And so I'm like, man, where's she at? So like I said, we've been getting a lot of rain, a lot of heavy rain, and maybe I'll take you guys in here and kind of show you real quick. But anyway, getting a lot of heavy rain, and so I'm like, man, I do not see her. I'm getting worried. I'm just kind of walking around inside, you know, the fenced area that I got him in, and not really seeing much. Like I said, I'm feeding the other ones, but just kind of keeping my eye open. And I go put my bucket up, and I'm just kind of roaming around. You're like, you know, it's possible maybe she got out or something. And then as I'm looking, I'm like, oh dang, I saw a point of vulnerability in my fencing. And so I'm like, dang, maybe she did get out. And so essentially, which I'm walking over here, I'm about to show you guys. But we got the heavy rain, and the way a particular part of our fence is, it gets a lot of water off the road. A lot of water, and I'll show you, because it washed out part of what I had in place of my fence. But it gets a ton of water. And like I said, we got some heavy rains. And so let me see if I can show it to you since I'm up right now. But that goat's in the trench that I'm talking about. You can see it's above her back. So it's pretty low. And over here is what I'm talking about. So all the water flow from this comes from the road. There's a road behind that thicket. And it washes all the way down here. And so I had a bunch of tires, and I'll show you guys up here. You can see all this debris. Like it wasn't necessarily clean, but all this washed in here. And all this is what I just put back up. I just put this crap back up to kind of keep them in. But I had all those tires and stuff securing the bottom of this, and it washed it all out. And so got a lot of water. So anyway, I saw that was breached, or that it was washed out. And I was like, oh man, did she get out there? So I'm looking, I'm like, I don't see no goat droppings, because they're very distinct. And so I don't see any signs of it. I don't see no leaves or no stems look like they've been nipped at or anything like that. Like I can't rest my mind with that thought. So I'm like, I don't know, but let me fix it anyway. Let me get it taken care of so it don't become an issue. So much like I'm doing right now, I'm walking around the property. I'm looking like, where could she be? Where could she be? And so they got a few favorite spots around here. Like right here is one of them. You can see they sit there a lot. They like to hang out there. She ain't there. I'm looking over there and whatnot. I can't find her. And so I'm like, this is just crazy. So lo and behold, oops, I made my way over here looking, and naturally, I look in all the structures, and so I go into the doghouse here, and unfortunately, that's where I found her body. And so she was in there is where I found her, in the doghouse. But I have no idea, no clue of what caused her death. By the time that I found her body, rigor mortis had already set in, so she was stiff and kind of bloated. And so although bloat is a common thing to take a goat out, I can't say that it was that, or just the post-life cycle, rather, whether she actually had, because I don't know when she died exactly. I just know that when I went to feed that evening, I couldn't find her, and that's how I found her eventually. So I really don't know. I tried to look to see maybe if the dogs had gotten her. She didn't look like she was mauled. She wasn't. Yeah, I really couldn't point to any just obvious causes. She didn't look poor or anything like that. Like I was just telling you guys how I thought they both were pregnant. And so, which on one hand made me second guess, well, was I tripping when she just bloated? But I'm like, well, no, the bag matched the stomach. So I can't really, I don't know. And so, consider maybe it was worms or something like that. But I'm like, well, she looked healthy, because usually, worms, take an animal down, make them look poorly, typically anyway, in my experience. So I really didn't lean to that. So I don't know, honestly, what happened. I know it's unfortunate because, like I just mentioned, that could have been up to 4 goats I just lost. It's a rare occasion for a goat to have 3, but they could have up to 3. If nothing else, it's common for them to have 2. So that's 3 goats we just lost. So that's pretty unfortunate, and especially for her, because she bounced back. If you guys remember when we first got her, she had like spotty fur, and she just really bounced back and started to look great, and even to see her to be assumably pregnant or whatever, I really had high hopes for her. So that was really kind of disappointing to see, and kind of heartbreaking at the same time too, and just so out of left field, because like I said, it wasn't like she was deteriorating or anything like that. When I seen her the day before, she looked fine. So And you know, I'll be honest, I was really quick to kind of look at my dogs, but I couldn't see any blood on them. And like I said, she didn't have any obvious signs of that either. So I I don't know. Yeah, it beats me, is all I can say. But that's actually why I have a fire going, because I have to do something with the body. And yeah, I can't. I mean, I could, but it would take me a minute to dig a hole deep enough to properly get rid of her, just because other animals, whether it be the dogs or something wild, could probably dig up. Well, not probably, would likely dig up a shallow grave. So I find that burning is usually the best solution for me, just because we have had some loss of life here on the farm. Actually, a bit. Like, that's the second goat that we lost in the last 2 years. Third goat in total we lost on the farm. And then you guys might recall we lost the cow calf before. And yeah, so we've had some losses around here. And yeah, when that happens, I tend to do the fire thing. Like I said, it tends to be the cleanest, easiest way to do it. At least for a small farm like me, I don't have any kind of a backhoe or even a loader or anything like that, or excavator to dig a grave. So this works for me. And in the meantime, I get to burn up at least a little bit of what I had here. If you guys remember, several months ago, I did a lot of this cutting that we got down right here. And so I just really took the smallest pile I had. You can see I got plenty to choose from. I haven't really done much of any burning this year, unfortunately. But yeah, I decided to go right here. I had a small pile. I didn't want anything big because we did have some wind today. But I knew I needed to get it done, just because, like I said, I found her 2 days ago, I guess. And so it was starting to smell, and I need to do something. But yeah, guys, what can you do? It's, kind of part and parcel of the business. You hate when it happens. You want to do everything you can to minimize it happening, but it does happen. And when it does, you kind of got to rise to the occasion and do what you got to do. That's basically what's happened here. But on a lighter note, we still got the other goat. She still is, pregnant presenting. Again, I don't want to get too hopeful, and hopefully nothing happens to her. I think this is going to prompt me, though, to do a few things. Probably going to just do a dewormer. I don't think I've done one since we've gotten those goats, which is actually not been that long, a few months or whatever. But with the hay, let's do it. And then yeah, just keep an extra careful eye on them. Maybe get them a mineral block, just to, I don't know, just to be sure, because yeah, you hate to see that happen to them. You hate to see them die, especially when they look so healthy or whatever. But anyway, like I said, on to another note. I've been out here like you saw, burning or whatever, and so it's really giving me a time to kind of just imagine my next steps. You can see right here is our temporary fence, and just beyond that is plenty more land that needs to be cleared, or that I could be taking advantage of to feed the animals, particularly the goats, all these weeds. And so I know I don't talk about or show you guys all the land very often, but I probably only got about maybe half at best of the land uncovered. And so sometimes it can be very hard for me to envision things, just because I guess my imagination is stuck on what I see. But anyway, I've been out here thinking, and I don't know that I'm sold on this idea, but I did have the idea of taking it easy on kind of this interior brush, and maybe focusing on the perimeter of the property just for the purpose of fencing. And I say that because what it would allow me to do, excuse me, I say that because what it would allow me to do is I'll make a lot more progress as far as the perimeter gate infrastructure, versus trying to do it all at once, like doing the perimeter fence while also working on interior fencing. And I might just, like I say, put up the perimeter fence or focus on that, which means clearing a lot less land at a given time. So maybe I clear a 5 foot, 6 foot working area or path for me to lay fence in, or even if it's 10 foot, right? And just a 10 foot fence line down, right? That's a lot less clearing, and I make a lot more progress faster. As far as just the perimeter fence, and just going like straight down, clearing that. I got a huge hedge tree that's down right here on the other side of this one. I don't know if I can show it to you. I don't know if I can get high enough to show it to you, but it is in there. You see it? Kind of hard to appreciate how big it is, but it's huge. Just down over there. But anyway, just clearing that. So even if I made a 10 foot working area, that's enough room for me to obviously have myself a chainsaw, even get the tractor down there to bring down fencing or other materials if I needed to, and just kind of make my progress that way. And then I can use these smaller temporary fences to make interior paddocks, as I would like to do kind of a rotational grazing thing, and then cut and clear internally as I go and proceed. I hope that's making sense. So essentially what I'm saying is do my best to enclose most of the property, the perimeter of the property, and then that's front and back, right? Front, back, inside. And then after I do that, mind you, clearing my 10 feet of working space in all those areas as I progress, then come back, and I will likely just let the goats at certain areas at a time, let them knock it down. I come behind them, cut down the big stuff and brush and trees that I want gone, and then progress that way. And then that way I'm not limited on putting up my fence and my progress by one, cutting all the trees down. Hold on, sorry. But I'm not limiting my progress by my ability to clear. And what I mean by that is because with me clearing, especially with just a chainsaw, no big equipment, I'm cutting tree by tree, each individual tree, and then after I cut it, I gotta clean it, and then after I clean it, I gotta dispose of it. So that all these steps have to go in before I can actually progress past the point, right? And so just something I'm considering and thinking about. I don't know that I'm sold on it yet, but I think I am gonna toy with the idea, like I have one, but get my chainsaw, not today, but one day, and just make some progress that way and see. The only apprehension I have is that a lot of our land is just so uneven, so it's just crazy. There's fall offs, dips, breaks, high points, craters, if you will. And so, even like that water runoff thing I just showed you guys, the erosion from that water has just created such a cavity. It's crazy, and we got a lot of those just in and on our property, in, on, and around. So I don't know, and I say that to say because it might mean that I have a lot of like bobcat work I need to do, smooth out some land before I can really consider putting up a permanent fence in certain areas. And I say that because just up there towards the front of the property, towards the end of where that temporary fence is for the septic, I could show you, I guess, there is a huge dip off for me to make progress on the fence continuing that way. But I'll tell you one thing, it's crazy to see this fenced in like this, like straight ahead. And I guess it's just one of those things that when you first get the property, it's all woods, and see the progress you made. And it really hasn't been that long. When I think about it, like on one hand, to me, it's been forever because I want it done now. I want it done yesterday. But legitimately, did we get this property in 2020? I don't know. Maybe it's 19 or 20. End of 19, early 20. Somewhere in there is when we actually got it, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And that is 5 years, no doubt. But a lot of that time it's been focused on just getting the house here, or just, you know, opening up the area up there. There was a lot of things we were trying to get done when we first got the property. Like, I had the cows at a friend's house, so I was really trying to get them from there. Obviously, the house was trying to get that done. And so I just said to say that our focus when we first got here wasn't just cleaning everything. It was really getting that area clean and where the cows are. But to see everything that has gotten cleared, it's just really impressive to me sometimes to look at it and just like, dang, I was waiting on a day that I would have all that fenced in and it'll look a certain way. 'Cause that's another thing too. When you get it knocked down, it ain't grass. And to see this actually be, I mean, a lot of it's weeds. There's still some patchy spots, but you know, greater majority grass. It's like, dang, okay, we're making some progress. I can kind of see the vision coming together a little bit by bit. Anyway, what I was going to show you guys. So like I was saying, the end of this temporary fence, here's a drop off, like immediately. You know, if you see it right there. And I can't tell exactly how deep it is because it's grown up, but I do remember because I looked down there before. It's significant. And so, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to have some light machine work in those areas. I know I am here. You guys know this has been a thorn in my side for a while, but this stuff that they cleared and pushed right here and kind of just left here, you know, maybe I'll use some of it if I get a machine large enough here to fill in those gaps, because that's going to take a nice size machine. I would imagine no Bobcat is probably going to be able to push all that and maneuver it and handle it how I would need to get it where I want it. But yeah, guys, sitting here thinking, daydreaming, and contemplating as I play not Undertaker, but I guess Mortician, whatever, I don't know, as I play Farmer, really, you know, it's part and parcel, like I said. But yeah, just thinking about what could come next year on the farm, and what that might look like and steps to get there. But I haven't showed you guys the animal. Here's the dogs there following me, loosely following me, but hanging out with each other and having fun, I guess. And there's the cows. Jay at home where he is supposed to be, along with B. I don't know where Biscuits is. I don't see her. She must be over there eating. Oh, there she goes. Yep, there she goes. It's crazy to me. She's getting big too. I'll show you guys the goats. Like I told you earlier in the video, I told you they're like sitting right there. And you can see the OG mama, she right there right now. Her and the other new goat, they both be here together. And then the boys, the kid boys, that's what I was really talking about. They've gotten so big. You see one, his horns are huge. The other one doesn't even have any. But they've gotten huge. Here's the other goat. Like I said, she's doing good, hanging out, look good. Told you the dogs are loosely following me. But yeah, goats have been doing well outside of, you know, just the one. Oh, they stood up now, but yeah, boys is getting big. They get real big. It seems like just the other day I was telling y'all that they were born. But they've been doing good and looking good. He's really handsome to me. The one with the horns, I probably can't get close enough to show his eyes. Show you his eyes. He's moving so much. But he's a little handsome dude. The other one ain't too shabby either. He looks really like his dad, or, you know, sire. But yeah, like almost a twin. Almost, if you can. He's over there sitting on my tractor like he likes to do. But yeah, it looks just like him. Just a younger version. It really reminds me of him. If you guys remember when I first got him, he was so tiny. But they're doing good. They're doing well. Yeah, guys. So like I said, I haven't been behind. Excuse me. So yeah, guys. Like I said, I haven't been in front of the camera much, but things have been active around here. Yeah, not really any dull moments to say the least. But I hope you guys have been well. I'm gonna get back on it as far as recording. Just have some things going on. So work, really. It's just been work. And then we had a few family events and stuff like that. So yeah, I've been distracted. But anyway, no excuses. I just want to kind of let you guys know, give you guys an update, let you know what has been going on, even though I haven't been recording. But I hope you guys are doing well. Hope your families are well. Hope you had a good and safe 4th. Hope you're enjoying your summer. I know it's been hot here, but we have been enjoying ourselves. We just had TJ's birthday. What was it? 2 weeks ago now. It was the 13th, but that weekend that was fun. Then yesterday, just yesterday, was our oldest son's birthday. He just turned 21. So yeah, just excited. Like I said, it's family stuff. Everything is exciting times, fun times. But I hope you guys and your family have been doing well. We love you guys, and until next time, peace.